Welcome to the Mariners Virtual Baseball Bash and this morning's media session.
Well, hello. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for the third of 7 virtual media sessions during the Mariners Baseball Bash. My name is Ian Kraft. I'm the coordinator of baseball information for the Seattle Mariners. For the duration of this media session, I will be speaking in both English and Spanish to accommodate both the English and Spanish-speaking audiences, media members, and guests today. As a reminder to our media, this call is being carried out live on our social channels, and I want to extend a special thank you to everyone tuning in on all of our platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch, as well as our followers on the Los Marineros channels. Fans watching on social media will have the opportunity to submit their questions for a chance to have them answered live during this event. Please just write your question in the chat function, and we will select a few to be read on the call. For media, we'll be using the raise hand feature again on this call. If you have a question, please press the raise hand button, and we will call on you. We're excited to welcome today 5 of our Spanish-speaking players. In this order, it will be Rafael Montero, Luis Torrens, José Marmolejos, Andrés Muñoz, and Julio Rodriguez. Lastly, Rafael Montero, Luis Torrens, and Andrés Muñoz have elected to use my services as a translator for today. So if they should receive a question in English, I will relay that to them in Spanish. And upon completion of their response, I will relay it back to everyone. If a player is asked a Spanish question or a question in Spanish, I will not translate the question nor the answer in that situation. And José Marmolejos and Julio Rodriguez are bilingual, so they have elected not to use my services. With all that said, we're going to roll a quick video for you all and then welcome in our first player of the session, recently acquired via trade from the Texas Rangers, right-handed reliever, Rafael Montero.
This is belted. How about that? Holy smokes, Kyle Lewis! Back, gone, home run! Holy smokes, gone! Oh my! Evan White making the catch, what a play!
That long backhand, flips to J.P. Crawford, throws, and that's a double play!
Wow! What a play by Kyle Seager. Justice Sheffield strikes out the side. Wow. Gone home run, Kyle Lewis.
Marco Gonzalez, Bulldog tough, you bet.
And we're back. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. We are ready to start taking questions for right-handed reliever Rafael Montero. We will start with Corey Brock.
Rafael, ¿cómo estás? Ian, would you mind asking him about his Tommy John surgery and how long did it take him to feel like he was back to himself? And is he any different of a pitcher now that he's a couple years removed from that surgery?
Absolutely. And just for the rest of these questions, feel free to direct them straight to Rafael, and I will translate them that way. No problem at all. Rafael, esta pregunta está de señor Corey Brock, que trabaja para el Atlético por la red. Okay. Su pregunta para ti es, él quiere saber más de tu experiencia con la surgería en tu brazo antes en tu carrera, y él quiere saber si eres un lanzador diferente después de la surgería que era antes de la surgería.
Sí, claro. En verdad, después de la cirugía, yo he tenido un cambio muy bueno, que es especial con la velocidad. Aumenté la velocidad. Y fue un momento donde uno siempre se pregunta, ¿voy a volver bien o no sé? Porque es un momento que hasta que uno no empieza a lanzar, uno no sabe todavía lo que vaya a pasar. Pero sí, yo creo que ahora después de la cirugía Tommy John, yo me considero que he venido mejor, me considero mejor pitcher ahora que antes.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely changed me as a pitcher. But I think for the better, it was a good change for me. I definitely feel like I saw an uptick in my velocity. I definitely think my velocity improved after the surgery. And I think I also improved mentally because there was that question in my mind about how am I going to bounce back after this? What is this experience going to be like for me as a pitcher? And I feel like since I've come back from it, I've really developed as a pitcher and strengthened my arm and my mind. And I'm really thankful for the experiences I've grown in multiple ways after the surgery. We'll take the next question from Tim Booth.
Hi, Rafael. Welcome to Seattle. Just wondering what your reaction was to being traded to the Mariners, and you come here with the idea that you are going to be the closer coming out of the bullpen.
Okay. Rafael, esta pregunta es del señor Tim Booth. Él trabaja también en nuestra caja de prensa. Él quiere saber cómo sentiste cuando oíste que ha cambiado desde los Rangers de Texas a los Marineros y si vas a entrar el entrenamiento primaveral con el pensamiento que vas a estar nuestro cerrador al principio de la temporada.
Ok, yo no, siempre uno no tiene equipo de preferencia, pues es donde siempre que manden a uno siempre tiene que tratar de hacer el trabajo y ayudar al equipo a ganar, y yo voy con la mentalidad de ayudar al equipo, no importa la posición donde me pongan, como cerrador, como quiera que sea, voy a tratar de hacer mi trabajo.
So when it all happened, I didn't have a specific team. I've never had a specific team I've hoped to play for. The way I've always attacked it is that I want to just play for a team where I want it and where I can play. And so I was just excited about another opportunity. And I just kind of play where I get the opportunity to play. And in terms of the closer part, I've never been one to say I'm this type of pitcher, I'm that type of pitcher. I just want to be able to contribute to the team. I want to be able to pitch effectively for the team and be a good team player. So if that means coming in and helping the Mariners as their closer or in any other role in the bullpen, I feel like I'm ready to do that, and I'm excited to do that. And we will take the next question from Daniel Kramer.
Rafael, welcome. Kind of building off of that question, the Rangers occasionally used you as a multi-inning reliever, not this past season, but the year before. And is that something that the Mariners have said might be a possibility? And is it something that you think you would be prepared to do?
Okay. Esta pregunta, Rafael, es de Daniel Kramer. Él trabaja para MLB.com. Él quiere saber, en el pasado, los Rangers, tú lanzaste múltiples entradas múltiples en tus outings, if you will. Él quiere saber si los Marineros han hablado a ti de lanzando múltiples entradas o no. ¿Y cómo sentiste si necesitas lanzar múltiples entradas?
No, yo estoy preparado para lo que sea, la entrada que hay que lanzar, y yo creo que el plan, me imagino que es en el sprint training, ya cuando uno habla en el plan que uno va a llevar para el juego. Y no, ellos todavía no me han dicho específicamente dónde voy a pichar, situación de juego. Me imagino que en el entrenamiento es donde uno se gana ese puesto.
So I felt comfortable doing it in the past, and up to this point, I don't think we haven't discussed it. We haven't talked about how many innings I'm going to throw, but I think a lot of times that's also determined by the game flow and the situation of each game and when I'm needed and how much work I do. So I'm going to come into spring training ready to be the pitcher that I can be and help the team however they decide that they need me, and fill whatever role it is that the team needs most at the time. We'll take the question from Shannon Dreher.
Welcome, Rafael. Good to see you. I'm wondering the transition from starter to a bullpen role to reliever, what that did for you as a pitcher. And you have had the opportunity to close games out. What does that mean to you to get the ball at the end of the game? And are you the same guy in the ninth inning that you are in the eighth or the seventh?
Ok, Rafael, esa pregunta es de Shannon Dreher. Ella trabaja para una estación de radio en Seattle. Su pregunta es, ella quiere saber un poco de transición que tú has experienciado desde un lanzador de empieza a un lanzador de relief, de un cerrador del bullpen. Y ella quiere saber un poco de tu cambio en tu mente también con esta situación y específicamente si sientes diferente en la lomita en la entrada novena.
No, yo no me, ahora mismo yo me siento preparado ya para lanzar desde el bullpen. Al principio sí fue un poco difícil. Cuando yo estaba en los Mets fue un poco difícil de estar para el bullpen. Y fue un poco difícil, pero ya gracias a Dios ya estamos preparados, hicimos el ajuste ya para eso y estamos preparados para lanzar en el octavo, en el noveno, en la situación que sea.
No, so today, sitting here in front of you today, I feel really good at the end of ball games. I feel really good at the end of the game. But that transition was a little bit difficult for me. It was a little bit difficult going from a starting pitcher to a relief pitcher. It took me some time to understand the different sets of preparation and time it took to do that. But right now, sitting in front of you, I feel really comfortable going into the bullpen situations that I've been put in the last 2 years. And I'm excited for these opportunities. Looks like we have time for about one or two more questions. We'll take one from Daniel Kramer.
Hey, Rafael, did you go back to throwing your fastball more last season than you had in the past? And if so, what was the reasoning behind that?
Rafael, él quiere saber si específicamente en 2020, si usaste su rápida más como usual en tu carrera y si su respuesta es sí a esta pregunta, él quiere saber por qué usaste su rápida un poco más.
Porque yo creo que me sentía bien porque siempre uno lanza el picheo. Cuando uno va al juego, uno lanza el mejor picheo que uno tiene y como te dije ahorita, la recta mía está entre las 96 y 97 millas y si una recta 96 97 millas y yo la localizo bien donde tengo que localizarla, yo la voy a tirar mucho, al igual que el cambio también. El cambio en mi segundo picheo también yo lo uso mucho también en el juego.
Yeah, I definitely think I used it a little bit more. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I've had an uptick in velocity, but I've also felt like of late I've been able to have better control. And not only that with my fastball, but I feel like I've also been able to use it well off of my changeup, which I've also felt comfortable locating. So it's really just been a combination of feeling more comfortable locating my fastball and pairing it with that changeup. Okay, it looks like we are out of questions. So I want to say thank you. We are going to roll a graphic here for a little bit as we set up Luis Torrens. Y gracias, Rafael, por tu tiempo. Ya es todo. Vamos a comunicar más tarde y gracias para todo y para tu tiempo.
Ok, está bien. Gracias a ti.
Okay, and we will have Luis Torrens for you all shortly. you so much for coming back. We are finally here, excited to be joined by Mariners catcher Luis Torrens. We will do the same thing. Media, please use the raise hand function on your computers, and we will get ready to ask questions. We will start here with a question from Shannon Dreher. Shannon, if you're asking, you may still be muted.
Not my fault. Hey, it was fun to watch you out on the field last year, and it seemed like they really threw you in there just right away. You were catching everybody, catching a lot. What was that experience like, having a whole pitching staff thrown at you, and what did you learn about some of these guys?
No, bueno, principalmente eso era lo que yo estaba deseando, ¿no? Que un equipo me diera la oportunidad de demostrar mi juego y estaba preparado para esa oportunidad y súper agradecido con los marineros, principalmente por darme la oportunidad y por dejarme demostrar mi talento. Y bueno, la verdad que fue bastante emocionante, ya que mucho talento en los marineros, sobre todo lanzadores, y me sentí muy cómodo con ellos.
Yeah, first and foremost, I was just so excited and overwhelmed by the opportunity to come to a team that wanted me to play for them and to be given the opportunity to use my talent on a team that I already thought was so talented. And to that point, I was just excited to work with such a talented team. I thought last year when I got traded here that the Mariners were a really talented group of players, and I believe that same sentiment going to 2021 as well. I'll take the next question from Daniel Kramer.
Hey, Luis, nice to meet you. The front office, Jerry DiPoto and Scott Service have said that, your role is still going to be very enhanced moving into next season. Obviously, Tom Murphy was out last year. How do you kind of look at splitting time with him, and what's your relationship with him, Ben?
With who? With Tom?
Yeah.
No, bueno, principalmente mi mentalidad, ¿no? Es prepararme sobre todo en esta offseason de que echar la cantidad mayor de juegos y eso ya será una decisión que tomarán ellos de cuánto tiempo, pero yo estoy preparado para que echar los 160 juegos, incluso más. Y mi relación con Murphy no lo he podido conocer todavía, no he tenido el placer y espero poder conocerlo pronto en el spring training.
Yeah, so my preparation and my training hasn't actually changed. I have been preparing my body the same way I always have, to prepare to catch 80 or 100 games in a season. That's what I feel like I'm ready to do. And in terms of Murphy, I haven't had the opportunity to speak to him yet. I haven't had a chance to meet him. I definitely want to do that soon and get the conversation started with him soon. I'll see the next question from Corey Brock.
Hello, Luis. Can you talk a little bit about your experience going through the big leagues with the Padres as a Rule 5 guy, where you got an opportunity to play some, but also a chance to watch? I imagine watching Austin Hedges, learning about the pitching staff. What was that entire experience like for you?
No, bueno, primeramente la experiencia fue bastante diferente a muchos peloteros, ¿no? Ya que yo tuve que pasar por un proceso distinto y en cada nivel fui aprendiendo. En mi primer año, en el 2017, aprendí de todo lo que vi en Grandes Ligas, lo que pude jugar. El año siguiente me mandaron a la clase A y ahí pude poner empeño en todo lo que he aprendido, y el año siguiente AA, que también fue un año bastante bueno para mí, y pude terminar en Grandes Ligas y bueno, ahora este año con mucha experiencia, ¿no? Si quieres lo traduce y después puedo continuar con esa pregunta.
Tú eres bien, no te importa, está bien.
Okay.
That season was a really unique opportunity for me. I think it was different than a lot of players experience in their first year of Major League Baseball. I learned a lot, and I had a really good time on the field, getting to learn to play and just learn. Obviously, that's the next season. I went back down to Single A and just kind of played from down there. And the year after that, I went up to AA and continued to grow up there, and then just kind of kept working my way back up to the major leagues. Sí,
y bueno, también que de Austin Hedges aprendí mucho, ¿no? Ya que fue un bastante buen amigo y me enseñó bastante y pude aprender muchas cosas de él, ya que él también es un gran receptor.
¿Y lo siento de quién?
De Hedges.
And also,
Hedges.
Sí, claro. And also, I learned a lot from Austin Hedges specifically. He was a really good teammate, really good catcher, and I did learn a lot from my time working next to him as well. We'll take a question again from Daniel.
Hey, Luis, obviously a very strong finish to the season with the Mariners, but also a very shortened amount of time. What did they kind of tell you that they wanted you to work on when you broke for the off season a couple months ago and what they wanted you to work on this winter before you head into spring training?
No, bueno, lo principal fue que trabajara bastante en mi físico, ¿no? Ya que, bueno, obviamente con todo esto del traspaso de San Diego a Seattle, perdí bastantes libras y quizás no estaba en mi mejor shape, como uno dice. Pero la principal condición fue que trabajara mi físico y que obviamente siguiera trabajando mi defensa y mi bateo para, bueno, llegar con mejorías al spring training.
When I got in, it was a lot to handle. There was a lot of things happening, but one of the first things they really talked to me about was working on my strength, working on my body, working on my mechanics, if you will. Really wanted to get me into the right shape to both catch and to be a consistent force on the offensive side. And that was the second thing they really talked to me about, was working on my offensive game and continuing to become a better major league hitter. Do we have any more questions for Luis? Okay, that's all we have for Luis today. Next up in a few minutes, we will have José Marmolejos joining us. As mentioned before, José speaks both English and Spanish. Just want to thank you again. Luis, gracias por tu tiempo, gracias por todo, y vamos a comunicar un poco más cerca. Gracias.
Gracias. Bye.
We'll have José for everyone shortly. All right, everyone. Sounds like we are ready to go. We have José Marmolejos here with us. José, I believe your mic is muted, so if you just want to go ahead and unmute your microphone when you're ready, we will start preparing to take questions for José Marmolejos.
Set. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. José, while we're getting questions fielded here, just would like to hear a little bit about your off-season training program and what you've been working on specifically down in the DR and down in Florida.
Definitely, yeah. I've been working hard on my acceleration, meaning first steps, and working on my routes, and I can get more explosion on my running. Of course, in my swing, we're working more staying inside the ball with breaking balls and stuff like that, and just getting on a rhythm to stay consistent with one swing and consistent with one stance. And it's been great. Been grinding a lot. Been grinding hard, pushing myself a lot.
Okay, so we have a question from Shannon Dreher.
Jose, I'm kind of curious. After getting, it wasn't a full season, but it was a few months. So what did you take away from the work that you were able to do with the Mariners, hitting coaches and hitting people?
Definitely, it was a really good, awesome learning experience. How the big league level works, more mental than anything. And I
from everybody, I took a lot of stuff. How to be more of a professional player, prepare, thinking ahead, and just being a professional in terms of being a Major League Baseball player. I mean, from a lot of the guys, I learned a lot of stuff. Staying more consistent and just on the line, not letting my emotions handle what's best with me.
We'll take a question from Ryan.
Jose just talked about running and routes and all this stuff. Do you feel that left field is your best path to playing time? And is that what they've told you as well as left field? I mean, I know you can play first base and there is the DH spot, but do you feel like left field is your best way to get on the field?
Most definitely, yes. I think the outfield is the spot where I could get more reps, and so I've been working a lot on it and to stay more consistent, to feel better there, to feel comfortable playing in the outfield. So, I mean, it comes a little more natural because when I was growing up, I played a lot of the outfield. When I signed as a professional baseball player, is when I started playing a lot of first base. But I mean, I love the outfield, and I think there's in the outfield is where I can get more reps.
Are you seeing progress from all the speed training and the route running and all that stuff? Are you seeing immediate progress from it?
I could. There's a lot of difference on my first steps and like how I read the balls that maybe I couldn't get to, that I'm more comfortable getting there, So it's just, it takes practice and like getting comfortable. And I would say that, I mean, it's been working really good.
Jose, we're going to take a question from social media here, actually. This is a question from Armando on Facebook. Él quiere saber que cuando eres de nuevo al béisbol profesional, jugaste un poco con Juan Soto, y él quiere saber qué piensas de la carrera que has tenido él y qué aprendiste de él cuando jugaste con él específicamente.
Okay. Do I respond in Spanish?
Yes, feel free to answer that one in Spanish.
Okay. Yo, pues bueno, cuando jugué con Juan Soto tuve la oportunidad de ver un talento tremendo, un tremendo talento. ¿Qué te puedo decir? Que es un muchacho súper humilde, que le encanta trabajar, le gusta escuchar, aprender, y básicamente de él aprendí a trabajar fuerte, enfocarse y tener enfoque en lo que uno quiere, ya que él se enfoca mucho en lo que él quiere, pero a la vez también es un talento que Dios le dio, un talento, es un don que Dios le ha dado, y es una gran bendición haber podido jugar con él un poco.
Thank you for that. We'll take another question from Tim Booth.
Jose, you were talking about how much work you've done in the outfield during the off season. I'm wondering, how much are you still doing at first base, and is that sort of flexibility and versatility the way you see yourself contributing on this roster?
Oh no, for sure. My work in first base, I mean, I still do my work at first base. I'm just saying, like, this year I've done more in the outfield than I used to do in the past years, but for sure I still like work on my stuff on first base. It's not that I have left it, but I just keep, like, I added more stuff to what I work on during the off season in terms of the outfield.
Sorry, I was muted. Any more questions for Jose here? Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your questions. Jose, thank you for your time as always. We will be in touch soon. And here momentarily, we will welcome in Mariners reliever Andrés Muñoz. Jose, gracias.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much. We are excited to welcome our fourth player here today in Mariners reliever, recently acquired from the San Diego Padres this past August, Andrés Muñoz. Reminder, Andrés Muñoz has elected to use me as his translator for this session. And please, media, remember to raise your hand with the raise hand function, and I will call on you when we're ready. Okay, questions for Andrés? We will start with Ryan Divish.
Andres, Jerry DePoto said you've been throwing. We've seen some video of you throwing. Where are you at in your throwing progression? And are you past the point of thinking about your elbow when you throw? I mean, do you throw it full without any fear?
Ok, Andrés, hemos visto videos de tú lanzando, de tú tirando. Él quiere saber un poco de tus pensamientos cuando estás tirando, cuando estás lanzando, y si estás pensando cuando lanzas específicamente en tu brazo después de la cirugía de tomillón.
Ahorita estoy en una parte de mi rehabilitación que es, se podría decir que es donde estoy empezando a conocer otra vez mi cuerpo, otra vez la fuerza que tiene mi brazo. Entonces, ahorita me siento bien, no siento ningún miedo en cuestión de cuando estoy lanzando. Ahorita estoy ya comenzando los bullpenes, entonces ahorita me siento muy bien, no siento ninguna molestia, no tengo ningún miedo a tirar, yo solo sigo tirando igual.
So right now, I'm starting on working on my program on building up strength specifically in my arm. I'm feeling really good right now. Yeah, I've started throwing. I'm starting to continue to throw bullpens. No, and I am at that point mentally where I'm not pitching with fear. I don't feel fear when I'm throwing. I don't feel pain right now when I'm throwing. I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling really confident right now in the work that I'm putting in. Take a question from Daniel.
Hey, Andres. Are you still kind of looking at a May and June kind of timeline as you work your way back to potentially pitching in games again? And is it your hope to reach the big leagues around then?
Él quiere saber si crees que vas a estar listo a lanzar para el equipo en mayo o junio. Y él quiere saber si sientes cómodo con ese timeline.
No, sí, yo me siento cómodo. De hecho, hasta se me hacía un poquito largo al principio, pero yo siento que está bien ese tiempo. Si es antes, si es poquito antes, si es poquito después, todo depende de que no tengan ninguna molestia de nuevo. Pero yo siento que es el tiempo bueno, se podría decir, para yo volver a tirar, y esperemos que no tenga ninguna vuelta para atrás de nuevo y de ahí seguirle para poder llegar otra vez a la liga.
Yeah, as of right now, I feel like that timeline sounds right. That sounds pretty appropriate for where my body feels. But, if it ends up being I can come back a little earlier than that because my body is ready, then that's great. Or if it ends up being that it needs a little bit more time until my body's right, that's fine. I just want to make sure that my body's ready to go when it's time. That way, when I'm ready to pitch, I'm ready to pitch. I'll take the next question from Corey.
Hello, Andres. Going through the Tommy John process, aside from getting information from the team trainers and medical staff, have you maybe sought out advice from other pitchers who have gone through this experience? And is there anything you've sort of learned about yourself going through this recovery?
Okay. Andrés, específicamente aparte de la información que has recibido de nuestros entrenadores y nuestras personales, él quiere saber si has preguntado a otro lanzador que ha tenido el tomillón, y también él quiere saber si has cambiado en una manera u otra manera, específicamente mentalmente, como un lanzador después de tomillón.
Yo estaba mucho en contacto, que es ahorita mi compañero de rehabilitación, se podría decir. Ahorita no está en la rehabilitación de tomillón, pero es Matt McGill. Yo he tomado muchos consejos de él, me ha ayudado mucho en las preguntas que yo tengo. Yo simplemente se las pregunto y él me las contesta. Trata de ayudarme porque él ya pasó por ese proceso antes. Y mi mentalidad ha cambiado, yo pienso, en no hacer las cosas tan al aventón, se podría decir, tan solo hacerlas y ya. Es simplemente más una preparación. Yo tomo más en cuenta ahora soy más consciente de las cosas que tengo que hacer y las cosas que en verdad me benefician.
Okay, so the first part of the question, I'm actually really fortunate enough to have a kind of a partner right now working through that same process, and that's Matt McGill, who has experienced Tommy John in the past. I've been working a lot with him, and he's been really great about giving me advice and just talking to me about that process, about what it was like for him, rehabbing through it and working through it, and obviously having the success he's had. It's great to have somebody like that just to talk to right now. And to the second part of the question, yeah, I think it's made me a little bit more focused, and I'm a little bit more aware of what's going on with my body. I'm thinking a little bit more about my actions and not putting too much stress on different parts of my arm if I can. I think I'm just a little bit more aware of my body and my actions now than I was before I had Tommy John. We'll take the next question from Daniel.
Hey, before Tommy John, Andres, you got up to the majors and pitched in 22 games in 2019. You know, just how valuable was that experience for you, not only to actually get to pitch in the majors, but prove to yourself that you are a major league pitcher, and hoping to get back here soon?
Andrés, él quiere saber un poco de la significancia para usted misma, lanzando en las grandes ligas antes en tu carrera cuando era bastante joven. Él quiere saber que los sentimientos de la oportunidad de lanzar en las grandes ligas.
No, sí, de hecho, es algo que te queda marcado para siempre. Es un sueño hecho realidad. Y desde chiquito tú siempre sueñas con eso. Y gracias a Dios, los Padres me dieron la oportunidad de poder tirar en grandes ligas. Ahora estoy con otro equipo, pero siempre yo sigo esperando el tiempo para volver a tirar en grandes ligas, para volver a sentir esas experiencias, ese sentimiento que es estar en la loma. Y más que todo ahora después de la Tommy John, pero la verdad estoy muy emocionado. Es algo que no se puede describir, es una emoción impresionante que sientes cuando subes a Grandes Ligas, y espero poder volver a sentirla después.
Yeah, so back when I first broke into the major leagues, it was really exciting for me. I was really young. Thanks to God, I was able to make the major leagues as quickly as I did and participate, obviously, for a different team. But it was a really great opportunity to learn. And since then, I'm obviously excited for the opportunity to work my way back to the major leagues here soon. I'm just going to continue to work on getting myself prepared for that opportunity when it comes. We're going to take one more question here from Andres. We're going to take a social media question from Adam.
Hi, Andres. I have a question here from Maria from Kirkland. She says, can you tell us about your Mexican heritage and what it means to you?
Andrés, esta pregunta es de las redes sociales. Es de una mujer, se llama María, en Kirkland, Washington. Ella quiere saber un poco de tus sentimientos y de tus herencias mexicanos que sienten para usted.
No, yo siempre voy a estar orgulloso de ser mexicano, siempre tratando de representar a mi país, esté donde esté, sea en cualquier equipo, sea en cualquier estado. Yo siempre voy a estar orgulloso de ser mexicano y tratar de poner a mi país en alto, que es para lo que estoy aquí. Yo siempre lo voy a decir, 100% mexicano, y obviamente hay que abrirse a diferentes culturas, diferentes formas de vivir, pero sin perder nuestras raíces, que son mexicanos.
Yeah, I'm very proud of my Mexican roots. It feels really great to represent my country this way. And yeah, just to say I'm proud of being Mexican and my Mexican roots is an absolute understatement. There's a lot of different ways of life. There's a lot of different cultures, but I am 100% Mexican. And I'm very, very proud of those roots. So we have no more questions. We are going to go to our last break of the afternoon, and we will return with Mariners outfield prospect Julio Rodríguez. Andrés, gracias por tu tiempo, gracias por todo, y vamos a hablar pronto. Gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Last season, baseball's youngest team led the American League in stolen bases. And it was one of the top defensive clubs in the game.
Holy smokes, Kyle Lewis!
Featured 2 Gold Glovers in the infield.
Are you kidding? That was gorgeous!
Evan White making the catch!
Plus another with the hardware in his trophy case.
What a play!
Don't forget, the unanimous AL Rookie of the Year.
God,
top rookie starter.
Justice Sheffield strikes out the side.
With the Bulldog atop the rotation.
Bulldog tough, you bet.
Oh, and throw in one of baseball's best farm systems. And we've got one question.
Are you ready for more?
Mariners baseball. See us rise.
I think we're back. Thank you so much again for coming back, everybody. This will be our last player of the evening. Very excited to welcome our very excited, very happy outfield prospect, proud of the Dominican Republic, Julio Rodriguez. And again, we will use the raise hand function to take questions for Julio here. So, Julio, thank you for joining us.
I'm really excited for being here, for real.
I don't know. We're ready to take questions for Julio. All right, we're going to start off with a quick question from social media from Adam.
Hey, Julio. This question is from Mark in Kent. He was wondering if you could tell us about your off-season as you've been prepping for this season.
Man, my off-season is being great. If I'm honest with you, this is the most in shape that I've ever felt, ever in my life. I've been putting, a lot of working a lot of different stuff that I needed to get better at, my body, my swing. Everything is, coming together, and it's the best physical shape that I've ever felt in my entire life.
We'll take our next question from Corey Brock.
Hello, Julio. Nice to see you. Can you talk about last summer? You hurt your wrist. You were limited in what you were able to do. It was a lost season for a lot of guys because there was no minor league season. What was your overall take on your summer? And were you still able to, do some things? I know you played some winter ball, and I don't know how important that was for you, but what was 2020 like for you?
2020, as you said, it was a lost season for a lot of us. I know we had the alternate side and everything, but it's not like an actual normal season playing against all the players from other teams. And as you know, I hurt my wrist and all that. It was kind of like a setback. But since there was not actual minor league season going on, it was kind of I was just focusing kind of deal with my injury, how to get back, and also I learned a lot of the mental side of the game while I was hurt. That was the most thing I did. Also, I improved my arm too. I did a lot of workout for cardio and all that stuff. I also worked my backhand swing too to get better at it too. And that was basically what I did in my 2020 during that minor league kind of time that we had.
I'll take the next question from Shannon Dreher.
Julio, what was the experience like playing in the Dominican, both being able to play close to home and the competition that you were facing?
To be honest with you, it is my favorite season ever. So far as a professional, it's been my favorite season because it was the one that I learned the most. I was around a lot of veteran players that they taught me a lot of stuff that I didn't even know about baseball, to be honest with you. There's a lot of experienced guys down there, all the players that I just took a lot of them, to be honest. And so far, it's my favorite season as a professional baseball player.
I'll take the next question from Tim Booth.
Julio, did the time playing in the Dominican this winter, did that make up for what you missed out on during the traditional minor league season between, not having games and dealing with your wrist injury?
To me, it felt like it because, as I said earlier, it was a season. I know I just played 18 games down in the Dominican, but I feel like it worth more than anything that I played before in my career because, I know I played in the minor leagues, but what I learned in DR, it will be tough to learn anywhere else in the minor leagues, to be honest with you.
Take the next question from Daniel Kramer.
Hey, Julio. How much do you think a full spring training will help you get back onto a normal schedule after, like you said, a lost season? And how do you think that lost season and getting back on that normal schedule maybe impacted your kind of guidelines and views for your timeline to reaching the majors?
I mean, I feel like a full sprint training will dictate a lot of stuff. Like will dictate my progress during that downtime that I had. I feel like I have done like a lot of progress like during that downtime, but it will dictate a better, more specific timeline if I have like full sprint training and full schedule season 2.
Next, we're going to take a question from our social media channels from Adam.
Hi, Julio. Another one here. This one is from Alex, and he wants to hear about your favorite episode from Vibing with Julio.
Oh, Vibing with Jared, man. It's been a lot of good ones. Man. The one with Noelvi, the one with Logan, the one with Caden Polkovich. Emerson Hankel was pretty good, too. Man, it's been a lot of good ones, to be honest with you. Oh, the one with TT, Taylor Trammell, man, that one was a good one too. I mean, they're all fun, man. Like we just like showing off like our personalities, like and saying like a lot of stuff that maybe people didn't know about us. That's the cool part about it. Like we can show our true self.
Y tenemos un más preguntas de las redes sociales, pero eso va a estar en español.
Okay.
Ella quiere saber un poco de tus de nuevo sus experiencias con la LIDOM en la Liga Dominicana y también tu experiencia con los veteranos como Fernando Rodney y los otros.
Mi experiencia dominicana, como lo dije anteriormente, fue mi experiencia favorita como pelotero profesional, ¿verdad? Aprendí muchísimas cosas de esos peloteros veteranos allá, muchas cosas que no creo que la hubiese aprendido en ningún otro lado en las menores. Y de verdad que de Fernando Rodney él me dio muchísimos consejos, porque una persona que haya jugado ha jugado y está jugando tanto tiempo es por algo, es porque hace algo bien. Entonces él habló mucho conmigo durante mi estadía en el recogido, de el carácter que debo poner a mi trabajo y del amor también que le tengo que poner. Y de muchos otros veteranos más, como Willy Castillo, Melqui Mesa, y entre otros que me apoyaron mucho mientras yo estaba allá.
Thank you for that, and we will take another question from Shannon.
Okay, it's going to be a two-parter now. I got to get the Rodney in English.
If you would be willing to reiterate what you said about Fernando Rodney in English, that would be great.
Oh, Fernando Rodney in English? So, for being a guy that he has played like for so many years, he is still being played at a really high level. Like, he talked to me like about the character that you got to put into it, because I brought a question to him like, man, like, what do you do to stay this long, like, playing, like, in good shape, like, and doing really good still, like, at your age? And he told me, like, about the character that he puts, like, everything I needed to do, like, the love I needed to bring to this game, because if you don't do it out of love, like, I don't think it will last long. And that's basically what he told me, like, you got to put character on it, you got to love it.
That sounds like Fernando. That's great you had that experience. My question for you is, you were down in Arizona for the Instructional and Player Development League, and they sent us updates of that every day, and we saw a lot of absolutely insane exit velocities. What was going on down there, not just with you, but with a lot of your teammates?
I mean, it was fun. It was fun, to be honest. Like, I wish it was, like, fans or stuff, but, like, just the fact that we were playing baseball, having fun out there, it was great. For real, it was a great experience. Like playing for the first time with a few guys like Noelvi Marte. Like I never had the chance to play with them. And playing down there in Arizona with guys like him and Jonathan Clase and a few other more, it was a really fun experience with them.
I will take one of our last questions here from Daniel Kramer.
Hey, Julio, kind of building on that, when you saw what Kyle Lewis did last year and what you and Jared have been able to accomplish in the minors, you know, how excited does that make you about the possibility of what this Mariners outfield can become in the coming years?
Man, whenever I saw him doing that, like, it got me really excited, to be honest, because as you said, like, me and Jared, we also have been doing, like, pretty good in the minors and all that. But, like, our main goal is just reach the level that he is right now. And, like, I know we have the ability and the desire to do like really, really good job and contribute to the team in the highest level, as in Major League. And I just got excited. I cannot even explain it right now how excited I was whenever I saw him balling out there. And I feel like, as I said earlier, like we got a talent. I think we're gonna put the work out there. It will be a fun outfield to watch.
All right. Any more questions for Julio?
Yeah, I got one more. Julio, following you on social media, we see that you get really excited about the hype and the exposure and the prospect rankings. How much does that give you confidence, and how much part of confidence is part of your game?
To be honest, like the confidence comes within me. Like I don't let any of that like to affect my confidence. But it's just like really cool, like knowing my story, knowing like where I came from the family I came from too. It's just really cool to see myself like being recognized for a lot of people like in this game, the game I love. It's just cool, man. It's just cool to see myself, my name between in the best of the game, like at least in the minor leagues. It's just cool, man. Knowing my story, knowing everything I've been through, and just being recognized like that, it feels really good, man.
All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Julio, for your time. We really appreciate you doing this for us, and we will see you in Arizona soon.
No, thank you guys for inviting me here. I will see you there.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, so much for joining us here today. Having all 5 of these players with us was a lot of work went into it from the entire side. So thank you, everyone, for being here for it. And thank you, all the media, asking all these questions for us, as well as our social channels. Thank you for chiming in as well. Tomorrow, the Mariners Baseball Bash will continue. We'll start off things at 10 a.m. with coffee service with Scott Service. We'll continue things at 2 p.m. with an Instagram takeover, this time by left-hander Justice Sheffield, top chef. At 3 p.m., we will continue the Twitter takeover, this time from Mariners reliever Joey Gerber. And then we will continue on at 4 with an Instagram takeover again with Mitch Haniger. And there's some hope that Mitch Haniger is going to grill on the Instagram takeover for us. At 5 p.m., we will continue with the community tour presented by Root Sports, featuring Justin Dunn and Keenan Middleton. And we will, if there's any other questions, please feel free to take a look at mariners.com/baseball bash for details. And again, thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you for attending this morning's media session. Be sure to visit mariners.com/baseball bash for more fun.